Hey everybody in YouTube land. Today's March 18th, Wednesday, and we've been discussing, my wife and I, about starting a YouTube channel on hunting, fishing, outdoorsy stuff. And today, with the coronavirus and all the issues going on, we're kind of on lockdown a little bit. The kids are out of school and work is pretty slow, so I'm up on my parents' property and I'm actually loading up my truck with some firewood, and I brought the dogs up. They love to run. So looking at starting a YouTube video or a YouTube channel on, like I said, hunting and fishing and some that's not working. Hello everybody on YouTube. My name is Jason. I'm from upstate New York. I love to hunt and fish and do other outdoorsy things. And with the coronavirus pandemic, everything's slowed down, work's slow, and we figured, well, why not start a YouTube channel? YouTube channel is going to be called The Hunter Gatherer. I love to hunt whitetails and anything else, and I love to fish and a bunch of outdoors things as well. I'm not very good at this. Hello everybody in YouTube land. It's March 18th, 2020, in the middle of the coronavirus pandemic. You might hear my dogs, they're in the background panting. They're up here running around on my dad's property. I'm up here to get a little bit of firewood. Got a little low, so we're picking up some firewood that's up here. Figured with us being down, work kind of slow, we'd start the YouTube channel that we've been talking about. It's going to be called The Hunter Gatherer. I've been on a lot of whitetail hunts that I've thought, man, I would love to record that. And I watch a lot of different channels of these guys doing the recording and self-filmed hunts, so I want to give it a shot. But I got to get used to running the camera and talking to the camera when there's nobody there. So anyways, spring turkey hunting is going to be coming up soon and some other things, so I figured why not get started. So the channel is going to be a lot of whitetail, a lot of maybe some bass fishing, some trout fishing, turkey hunting, and then the gathering part of it is just gathering different kinds of nuts. We've been planting trees with acorns and hickory nuts that we pick up, and we just transplanted some black raspberry bushes this last fall and some other things. So anyways, just a lot of outdoorsy things that I've maybe learned along the way or trying to learn as we go, and bring you along if I can. This another thing is to just let family know what we're doing, or to show some friends the hunt instead of explaining it to them. So hopefully we can get some deer down in this next fall, archery, shotgun or rifle and muzzleloader, and bring some friends along to hunt at the same time. So gonna show you around the property today while I'm picking up some wood, maybe doing some shed hunting and just letting the dogs get up and run. Hopefully you'll enjoy the trip. We'll see how it goes. Careful. There we go. All right. We're going to split a little of this wood. The problem is that it's been sitting here for months, so it's probably pretty dry on the top. See how it goes. That's what I thought. There we go. That's probably good. That'll work. So for those of you who haven't split wood before, which probably all of you have, this is maple and usually does all right splitting, but once it dries on the ends and it starts to crack, it's a little harder to split it, but it's not terrible. Well, the truck's pretty full. It's not all stacked, but it's pretty good. So now we're gonna go take a hike and head up this hill. The dogs, they've been wrestling the whole time. Gonna take them up the hill and then take you on a small tour while we look for some sheds possibly. So most of my deer hunting memories are on this property. My parents bought it in 92, 93, anyways, somewhere in there. A gentleman owned it and had my dad cutting firewood on it. He just had it logged. My dad cut firewood up here on shares and sold firewood. And after cutting firewood up here, he had given us hunting permission. And years later, after my dad and him become friends, the gentleman asked if Dad would like to buy the property, and he did. And we're all pretty thankful that he did. We love coming up here and hunting and just having some time to ourselves. Here's, I'm just walking through a couple of deer, well, trying to get the deer tracks on there. Right down here, nice deer track coming through. If I can get my hand in there. Anyways, there's some apple trees over here and a nice thick spot over here that we used to have some stands in, but now it's just kind of a sanctuary. Let's walk through the backside right here. Come on, dogs. Winnie, come on, let's go. This way. Anyway, this is where my brother-in-law actually had a stand over here, but it fell apart years ago. We called them the condos, like a shooting house, and the deer used to come down through this stuff, but it's grown a lot thicker. And they bed in here, so we just kind of let them be in here while we hunt in other areas and hope they come through to come to us. So I haven't seen any sheds yet. It's only been a little while, but I'm just still trying to get used to this whole selfie pose thing. I've never really done this before, so you probably can notice. Anyways, this is a mowed path that we keep mowed between us and the neighbor's property over here. There's some posted signs once in a while you'll probably see. But anyways, the deer definitely like to bed in this stuff. There's some pines, it gets pretty thick in there. And so we just keep this kind of mowed here where sometimes we can walk behind just to see what's going on, see if we see a lot of tracks coming through or whatever. But it kind of gives a little buffer zone between us and the neighbors too. They've been pretty good. They don't come over on us too often, but they put signs up and we put signs up, and we have some mutual agreements of if we hit one, we'll go let them know and they'll let us come in. But anyway, my dad's property is bordered by state land on the back side and on the bottom side, so we do a lot of hunting on the state land too. And that's where I tend to get a few deer in the area. Thought I saw, let me see, thought I saw a shed, but I think it's just a branch. Anyway, we're gonna take you down in the woods and see the bridge my dad built last year to get across the gully. And I even have a little video clip of a deer I shot there a couple years ago. Maybe I'll be able to post this in here, but I'm trying to not make this too long of an intro video. Just our beginning start of the YouTube channel, and hopefully we'll be able to continue to bring content as we get a chance to. You guys can let us know what you would like to see, different things. Thinking a lot of hikes and just scouting and doing some other things. That's what I like to do, so hopefully you guys enjoy that. And then we'll get into doing some hunting later on and fishing as soon as the seasons open up. So we're in some of the hardwoods now. I think it's about 50 to 60 acres of woods, and it's kind of getting thick in here with some saplings, but it's primarily maple. And last year we came in with a tractor and an auger, and this is one of the spots that we came in with an auger, and this is, come on dogs, this is one of the oak trees that we planted here. We planted about 100 oak saplings, and feels like it's still doing well. 100 red oaks, about 30 apple trees, 40 cherry trees, some other things, a little bit of everything, but just trying to give some diversity to the hardwoods that are in here. There's one of our ladder stands. It's a good spot to kind of cover this side hill here and all that thicket. There's a bunch of blackberries that have grown up through and everything. These dogs, they don't stop wrestling. They just go all day long until they collapse. But let's see, maybe we'll climb up this ladder and just to show you what the view looks like. So we got up the tree, and this is a little like a basin down in here, and then down in the pine area down there, some pines. It drops down off into the gully. That's where we're going to go check out the bridge. It's a little windy. I don't know what this microphone does on this phone. So anyways, you can see a good ways, but they definitely like to come across this side bank, and as they're working their way down into the state land down below. It's about, right down there, about 800 yards, 1,000 yards is the state land sign, the line. So anyhow, that's kind of the view from this stand. Maybe you'll see it this fall too. So here we go down the gully, down the edge of the gully. We're going to go check out that bridge. Oh, here we go, girl. So later on I'll put that small video clip of 2 years ago deer hunt. I shot a really nice buck on the back side of the gully on the public land. He actually ends up dying right here by these two trees. He had bedded down in the bottom of the gully here, and I thought, man, how am I going to get him out? I thought he was going to die there. I walked away for 10 minutes, and I came back and he pops his head up and he runs right up this bank. And I shot him one more time and he dropped up there. So this is the bridge Dad built out of some hemlock that was over here, and he cut some nice thick slabs out of it, and he has it supported down there. A couple of logs down underneath. Maybe I'll jump down there and show you. But this is a little stream that runs through. Little brook, I guess maybe you'd call it. Dogs coming down, they're going to play in the water maybe. Anyways, it's a beautiful little area. This is it's got some rocks stacked up, the logs across, and supported here with some posts. Looks like the girls are cooling off a little bit. Anyways, I'll get myself across here and work our way back up to the other side. Says he wish he made it a little wider, because when the guys come down with side-by-sides, it's a little close on the edge for some of those bigger ones, but it's a nice spot to cross. Anyway, let's keep going. Well, we made it up onto the backside. You see over here, that's New York State Forest signs. And you can look down into the gully over here, and the bridge is right down there going across and up the other side. Haven't been looking real hard for sheds yet. Maybe I'll come up another day with my kids and my wife and see if we can try to find them. My dogs love to chew on them, but I've never trained them to try to find them. I don't know if a boxer would have the nose for that or not, but they definitely like to play with them in the house. So we're gonna work our way up kind of along this line of the state here. They got the yellow painted trees right off the edge of our little road here. This is one of the spots that's kind of hard to keep the people that are hunting the state land off of our property, or my dad's property, because they like to hunt the gully. So there's oftentimes that what's she sniffing for? Maybe she'll find a shed. Anyway, there's oftentimes that we end up seeing people working their way through. So we kind of gotta guard the backside here to keep them from doing that, but we also will hunt the public land as well. Some good spots back here, and this is actually where I shot that nice buck a couple years ago. So anyways, they sure are running all around and sniffing like crazy. I don't know, it'd be pretty awesome if they do find a shed. I have to call them the shed dog boxers or something, I don't know. Alright, let's see where we're at. I'm gonna walk you up to a ground blind that we built last year. And my wife had an opportunity on her first deer with a crossbow, but it didn't happen yet. There's always next season, right? So working our way up through and kind of just doing some scouting while I'm at it. I'll show you when we get there. Alright. Opening day. That's where I hit him the second time. Let's see where we go. Oh. Alright. Alright, so walked a little ways. These are my dad's posted signs. I don't know the rest of you guys that have property. We put the paper ones up for a while, Dad did. Then he bought some plastic ones a little bit higher price, and then we decided, hey, they're either getting torn down or ruined by the weather or whatever. So about 5 years ago, we bought these ones, aluminum, and they've held up pretty well. We put them on some pine on the back side of there, and put a heavy bolt in them. But this is the blind I built last year with one of my buddy's sons, and we had it pretty well brushed in, and just kind of sit up here right between those trees where you come in and kind of watch this little draw that comes down through, and it turns into a pretty good sized little deep spot down through here. The deer don't like to cross it. They like to come up through and above it, and well, I should follow my finger right up through that way. They come around this way, and maybe one of these days we'll give you all the story of the deer that my wife almost got last year. We actually had set the blind up right there where Winnie is. We came up through here. I packed a ground blind back, and we were looking for a heavy trail. We finally found a heavy trail right down along this edge here. Right, let's see, get my hand in here, right down along through here where they were coming up through. So we set up right here, brushed it in, and we had a nice buck come down through here. Anyways, we'll tell the story another day maybe. But it was a pretty good little spot, so I decided I'd build this more permanent blind in here, and we'll get in here in this summer and work on it, and then this fall really brush it in and try to hunt out of this area again this year. I think it'll be a good little spot, but we'll go down here and check this little area, see if that trail is still kind of heavy where they were using it, and we'll walk down this gully just to see what it looks like. And the dogs are going crazy. I can imagine that's going to get annoying on a video. Alright, let's see here. That trail that they were using so much was right in through here, right down this area. Hey, what's wrong with you two? Huh? Just wrestle all day long until you get home and I feed you and then you pass out. Anyways, this is a little draw here that the state comes over here and it corners into ours, and the neighbors and the state all in this one little corner. It's all these ribbons they've got everywhere and paint everywhere. Anyways, this is the spot the deer don't like to cross too much. It's not easy, so they come up the edge and go over the top. So kind of hang out in that area. All right, let's see what we can find. Dogs like to run up and down through it. Well, we're walking along the bottom side of the property that parallels the state land, and I was just getting ready to tell you there's a little spot that has a bunch of poplar in here, and I guess that's some birch, but an old dead cherry. Anyhow, but there's some poplar over here, and the deer like to hang out on this bank, and I was going to record, phone had, I had paused or whatever, it had gone into sleep mode. I'm trying to turn it on to do it, and two deer run down the bank in front of me. I didn't get a chance to get it on. By the time I got it on, they were a ways away down through this on the public there. So just kind of hanging on this edge because there's an old road up this way that the deer do like to use at times. Thinking maybe if some bucks were walking down through there. Then we're going to probably pop up into one of the field area and just to see if maybe anything had been out in one of the spots that they like to eat, and see if they might have shed an antler there. Got like a down beech tree there. Might have to come in and cut that up. So anyways, every time I walk in a different spot, let's see if I can get this around to me. without, I don't know if it's shooting me or not. Like I said, I'm still a rookie at this. Every little spot that I walk, I have a memory of a different deer possibly, or a different situation that happened. I don't know, probably 96. I was up on leave, Thanksgiving time frame when I was in the military, and it was like the last, kind of like one of those hunting shows, you know, the last hour, the last day. We're actually, my wife and I were headed to Ohio, and to see her grandmother and some of her family members. And I was sitting right in this area here, and well, I don't know if I'm pointing right here. Anyways, right down in here, this buck comes through. He wasn't a giant by any means, but I wanted some meat for the freezer. It was a 9-point, but a smaller basket rack deer. And anyhow, for the last 10 minutes of shooting light came up through and got him, and my dad was pretty surprised, because I guess he knew the deer come up through there, but he figured there was enough guys hunting on the state land that they would have been spooked and maybe not have come up through. And he came right across that little spot, and I was able to harvest him with one shot and dropped him there. And I was pretty happy about that. Anyways, we're just getting ready to pop up through here. This is the old state road, I guess, that they used to use to get back on the other side of the gully. And I guess there was a right of way, but it's on Dad's land, so but it's kind of grown up through, and got some trees here or there that need to be cleaned up. And anyhow, but yeah, we'll pop up here into this little field area that we mow. I actually put a little food plot in it last year, and a little late in the season. It started growing up pretty good, but it wasn't great. But they did use it. This year we're hoping to get some in earlier, and hopefully get some video of that and it growing through the year. And we'll put some trail cameras on there just to see, just not really completely to hunt the area, but also to, it's a good trail down through here, to be able to get some footage of what deer are in the area. We try to not shoot everything we see, you know, and we try to make sure that they're at least 2-year-old, and if not older. Obviously, the bigger or the older the deer, the more meat's on it. So, but it's just a great passion that we have, and we love to see the animals. Like I said, I planted apple trees and oak trees and all kinds of stuff up here to give them food and give them an area to be, and we try to harvest them, you know, not too many in number, and also try to let the younger ones go and let them grow up a little bit. So this is one of the food plots that we grew last year. Like I said, it kind of worked, but they definitely shoot it down real quick. There's not a lot of agriculture in this area, so try to give them something other than just browse and the goldenrod that grows naturally and things like that they want to eat, and try to keep some areas mowed down so it has some tender things for them to eat, and give them something to come out and hang out in. Thought I saw something over here, but it might be just a piece of an old root that got chewed up. Yeah, I was hoping to see something in here. Anyways, this is what I thought I saw. Nice and white. But we grew some brassicas and some other stuff in here, and we're gonna get to it earlier this year and hopefully get something better growing in here. Well, we're back to the truck. Got the wood in there. Try to get the dogs going in. Come on, up in the truck. Good girl. Come on, good girl. Get there. Come on, Winnie. Gwen, let's go. Get in the truck. Good girl. Come on, let's go. Good job. You guys are a mess. Winnie, get in the truck. Good girl, get in the truck. Good job. All right. They're a muddy mess. They're gonna need a bath tonight. So, we got a little tour of the property. Come on, look out. There's a lot more to see. Doing a good job at videoing my finger. A lot more to see. Some stands, some other areas, some food plots that we'll be working on. Actually, I'm going to drive down now. This part of the state land down here has a lot of pine, and they're clear cutting it. And they got some trucks down there. They're logging it. It's going to change up the hunting a little bit this year. It's going to be a little clear down there. They're not going to have that area to hide out, but it's going to be pretty thick and brushy in a year or two. There wasn't a whole lot of undergrowth down there now for them to browse or whatever. It was just some hiding areas and some escape routes. So now it's going to change up the things that we used to do, make some new plans, and it might allow us to draw them up here more if we have some good food for them to eat. So I'm gonna cruise down there and maybe get a video of that and maybe put that in another day. Having a tough time figuring out where to put my eyeballs. I'm trying to look at the camera instead of the screen because it looks like I'm looking the other way. Anyways, a lot to learn on this whole video thing and the YouTube thing, but gonna cruise down there, get a little video, maybe put that in something else, and got a lot of different things to look at. We've got honeybees that we'll be working on, maybe show you some older videos of that, checking on where the queen is and things, and showing some things about that. I don't know if people are interested in that. Do a little bit of everything. So I guess I'm one of those jack of all trades, master of none, maybe, or whatever that saying is. But I do enjoy learning new things and trying new things. That's what this video part is about, and just gonna try to bring some people along, show some buddies some hunting videos, and whoever else wants to tag along can. So already I'm noticing I say things a lot, so that's something I have to work on, and not looking into the camera in the right area, and being hesitant on saying certain things maybe, or thinking about it in my head instead of just saying it. Anyway, I'll get it figured out, and hopefully this year we'll get a few different animals on video, a lot of cool outdoors things and outdoor videos, hunts, and showing how to gather you know, either nuts or berries. Or something I want to try this year is the whole hunting for morel mushrooms. So that's something that I'm going to give it a shot anyways, see if we can find something. Anyway, I guess I could talk on forever, but we're going to put this video to an end, and I'm going to go try to get some video of them clearing that area down there for maybe a little bit of video for tomorrow. All right. Nice to meet everybody. Hopefully we can keep some footage coming in and keep some people interested. Y'all have a great one. God bless.